So yeah, my background, well, as you guys know from Dragon's Den, I'm originally from Brazil. I study economics and political science at Columbia University. And right after that, I joined Credit Suisse to become an investment banker. I then joined Accenture and I was a management consultant in New York. I worked for a number of companies, including Pfizer, New York Stock Exchange, BNP Paribas. Then in 2014, I came to the UK to study differential psychology that focuses on personality and behavior. So I studied that at the University of Edinburgh, and afterwards went back to corporate, worked as a corporate strategist for JP Morgan. And during my time at JP Morgan, I was approached by Crimson Education, an ed tech startup that was looking to open their offices across the UK and Europe. So I joined the team, started opening offices across the region, and then I took over the entire continent, and I helped stabilize the company's growth to a few million in annual recurring revenue, a fully fledged team. We built everything from sales, marketing, service, delivery, and it was an incredible ride. That's when I learned that I had the ability to grow businesses and make it work. And that's how it began. Nosy is a wearable air filter. And the reason why I began developing that is that for over 10 years, every time that I took public transportation, I would be thinking, what is in the air that I breathe? And it, like when I was younger, it wasn't that much of a problem, but I had a health scare in 2018, and I became very, very self-conscious about what I was putting into my body. And it occurred to me after I was taking the tube every day from Oxford Street to Notting Hill that even though my journey was very short, I was still exposing myself to those pollutants. And unlike food or water, which you can choose what you put into your body, you cannot choose your air. So I thought, okay, I can do that. I can muffle sound with headphones. I can, cancel out light, filter out light with sunglasses. Why can I not do the same thing with air? And so I started researching the market, and I realized that there was no such thing. And I thought to myself, okay, face masks are not really cutting it for me because there are problems with air leakage, and it's really uncomfortable to wear because of the drag, the filters are too far from your face. And I began developing Nosy. I hired a team of former Dyson engineers to pretty much put the same technology that you have in your home air purifier inside of the Nosy itself. 92% of the world's population live above the standards for air quality set by the WHO. 1 in 9 people every year die because of air pollution. This is more than war, malaria, AIDS, and even COVID-19 combined. And that happens every year. It's just getting worse. About 20 minutes in the London Underground is equivalent to smoking 1 cigarette. And being in your car, which a lot of people don't realize, it emits a lot of nitrogen dioxide. And it can be equivalent to smoking a cigarette after an hour. So another thing as well that is crazy is that the pollution in Europe, because it's medieval city, so it has quite a lot of stop and start traffic, can be equivalent to that of Delhi and Beijing in terms of nitrogen dioxide. So even though you don't see the same fog that you would otherwise see, let's say in China, it still can be quite harmful in terms of that particular gas that creates a lot of irritation on your respiratory system. So there is already a lot of awareness surrounding air pollution, and obviously face masks have been in vogue in Asia for quite a long time, with people mainly protecting themselves from viruses and others actually from viruses, but also using for air pollution. The problem is that when I started researching, I realized that because of face shape, size, and movement, what happens is that it's impossible for you to create a tight seal around your face. So you're going to have little holes of air coming through the side here and then in here. So people are wearing these masks and they think that is an N95 respirator, so I'm going to have super protection. But in fact, when the filter rating is so high, it just means that more air is going to flow through the side. So with the average N95 respirator, research from the Institute of Occupational and Environmental Science in Edinburgh showed that about 68% of the air is actually not passing through the filter. So I know that a lot of people have questions being like, okay, so Nosy doesn't cover the nose, and what about the mouth? But when people are actually breathing, 90% of the time they are going to be breathing through their nose. And compare that to, 32% effectiveness rate for N95 respirators. Yeah, it's better to compromise that 10% that you're going to have when maybe you're speaking and actually be able to have that airtight seal around your nose. So the price tag is decided with a number of factors, and one of them is obviously the cost of production. So the cost of production, importing duties, and obviously distributing to clients dictate how much we can sell the product for. When I was on Dragon's Den, I didn't have an entire supply chain built out. So we already have decreased our prices now that we have established a supply chain. It's £65. And if people are comparing Nosy to other products in the market, the thing is that we are unlike anything else. We have an air purifier on your nose. So maybe rather than comparing us to face masks, another way to be looking at it is really comparing us to an air purifier. So we are definitely looking at decreasing our prices long term. Obviously, we are a small startup and we are building out our supply chain. And the more we are able to develop our product lines and find different deals with distributors due to scale, we will be looking at passing on those savings to our customers. When you're looking at the cost of Nosy versus face masks long term, one, we are actually cheaper because what happens is that our product has longevity. So when you often look at other, even N95 masks that say that you have activated carbon and now the extra filters that we have, oftentimes these are semi-replaceable. So you need to actually be changing the mask every 3 months. And then you also have others that then you can replace the filters, but the filter replacement itself costs 20 to 30 pounds. So the upfront cost for Nosy may be a little bit higher than the standard, but then our filter replacements means that you are able to get fresh air every month for 10 pounds. When you added that up over the cost in a year, you actually are saving money with Nosy. Long term, we are looking at incorporating different deals for Nosy. So you have a black one, you have a white one here, a pink one, and then we are also looking at building out our filters so you can have different smells inside of your filters as well. This is something that we're not launching with just because of managing our supply chain, but you are able to be swapping out everything of the Nosy. It's quite modular in terms of design. Yeah, so Dragon's Den, I was absolutely terrified. I went on air because I couldn't pass the opportunity. BBC approached us. We were nowhere ready to show the product to the world. It was shot almost a year ago. So we were very, very early. And that's why when you see, the show itself, you see that those are 3D printed prototypes. It even has a metal bit on the top because we are just trying to figure out our attachment system, which has changed significantly since then. And so I think going to the den, knowing that you don't have functioning products, it's not a good place to be. But I thought that the mission of telling the world about air pollution and raising awareness around the issue was more important than, whether I was made fun of on TV or not. As you probably heard on TV, I believe that Nosy is the next accessory for the world, and therefore we have a very big future. The next steps in our products right now is that we're looking at developing Nosy for kids that are animal noses. And then we are also looking at developing Nosy Tech, which is a wearable mask with sensors for tracking air pollution and also breathing. We are partnering with the University of Waterloo in Canada with Sparks Lab to be developing the actual sensor technology underneath Nosy. So currently we are fundraising for that. And we have, we are just looking to build out our team and be able to provide Nosy to our customers and to distributors. Another thing to mention is that Nosy is part of the SIDE program that is part of the Portsmouth University Hospital and University, Hospital and University Trust. And we are partnering with a number of professors and physicians to test the efficacy of Nosy in removing a number of particulates, including hay fever and a number of pollutants, and then seeing the applicability for COPD and asthma patients. Because this specific group often has difficulty breathing through a mask because the mask creates drag. So it means that they need to breathe more to inhale air. And because Nosy filters sit right below the nose, you can see here, it allows you to just keep on breathing without that drag, making it a lot easier to inhale from somebody with restricted breathing than with a mask.